Perhaps this person broke up with you and that really hurt you. And on one side, you don't ever want to see that person again because of what they did. But deep inside, you would never tell anyone this, but you still also internally long to be with them. Or maybe the other side is true where you're the one who ended the relationship, and months later, you start thinking about them and you start wondering if you made the right choice. Why won't your heart just release this person? In this video, we're going to talk about 4 possible reasons for why God is not removing your feelings for your ex. Number 1, it's possible God is not removing your feelings for your ex because you're holding on to the hurt of how this person ended the relationship. When we hold on to hurts, we are also holding on to a connection to this person. Usually, when we think of that concept, we're thinking of hurts that happened within the relationship when it was going on. And that's definitely worth thinking about. But something that goes often overlooked is also the hurts that can happen of how this person went about ending the relationship or the actions they took immediately after the relationship ended. Perhaps you knew the relationship needed to end too, but maybe your ex just sent you a text after years of dating. The way they ended it has made it hard for you to find closure. Perhaps you two got into a silly argument that would usually lead to a big fight, but then you both would always reconcile. But this time, this person got really mad and won't forgive you. Maybe you're beating yourself up for how you contributed to the problems. Perhaps you mutually agreed to end this relationship and you were okay with that. But then this person started dating someone new right away. Now you're hurt because they moved on so quick. Whenever there's a hurt, the key is to fully and radically forgive them and to give this totally to God. 1 Peter 5:5-7 instructs, "Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another. For God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you." Number 2, you could still have feelings for your ex because you're a loyal person. And you actually always struggle when it's time to let someone go in your life. God's certainly in control, but he's also bestowed on humans the ability to make real choices. And it's definitely possible that one reason you're not choosing to let this person go in your heart is because you have a personality trait of being very loyal. You're a loyalist. While this trait of being loyal is a very good trait to have, particularly when you're in a long-term committed relationship, this trait can also be very hard to manage when you're in that season of life where people are supposed to come and go. Dating is hard for the heart because you're getting sips of serious relationship qualities, but the full commitment is not there. So it can confuse your heart, especially when you're a loyalist, to be close to someone, but then have to let them go. That's an unnatural thing for you to do. This is where you really need to balance your heart with your mind. You have to intellectually know that this season that you both chose to enter into in dating was never meant to be a long-term final commitment. It was a phase that you both chose to enter into to gauge whether or not you wanted to make a deeper commitment that should last for the entirety of your lives in marriage. And so again, you have to lead your heart sometimes with your mind and say, okay, my heart is loyal. My heart is ready to make a deep commitment. But intellectually, I have to choose to know that this is not the right time to use that great quality I have. 1 Peter 1:13, "Therefore, preparing your minds for action and being sober-minded, set your hope fully on the grace that will be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ." When your mind is prepared for action, sober, and set on Christ, the Lord will lead your heart to where it should go. If you could take a moment and give this video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it because that helps this content spread to more people on YouTube. The way it works is the algorithm will say, hey, that person enjoyed this video. And if you enjoy it, it will then send it to other people who have similar viewing histories as you. So I know it seems like a small thing, but it goes a long way when you give these videos a thumbs up. Number 3, God may not be removing your feelings for your ex because you both need to work on some issues together rather than completely part ways. There certainly are times where God may allow a couple to part ways, but he also wants them to get back together. It's not the final end of their story. However, one key indication for this to actually be present is that there needs to be an issue that you both can work on together and that you're both willing to work on together. So it's very easy to trick yourself into thinking God is saying this to you, that you and your ex are going to get back together because that's why your feelings for this person are still there. I would say the vast majority of the time, that's not the case. Because when a relationship doesn't work, there's a reason for that. And if that reason can't change or isn't changing, or one or both of you aren't willing to make that actual issue change, then that is not a sign God wants you to be together again. You have to get specific rather than general. Don't just think, we broke up for some random reason. There was a real reason. And once you identify that real reason, that will help you know whether or not this relationship can ever actually change or not. Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. And number 4, God may not be removing your feelings for your ex because the hurt you experienced with that person is preventing you from trying a relationship again with someone different. In many cases, the human heart stays emotionally attached to the last relationship experience it had. So because you have a strong desire for marriage, it's very possible that you keep thinking about this person because there's no one else to think about. In other words, you have a general strong desire to be married, but your heart is always looking for a specific person to attach that desire to. And again, if there's no one else to attach that desire to, a lot of times you just go to your default, which is the last person you had a significant relationship with. One reason this type of issue can linger a long time is when you got really hurt by your ex and now you're afraid to date again. Ironically, however, this fear and inactivity is actually keeping you in your past pain. By trying again and getting new experiences, you are allowing your heart to let go and replace the old with the new. Really, the possibilities are totally endless. So the real thing you want to do if your heart is stuck thinking about your ex or anyone else for that matter is to really bring this to the Lord, to walk with the Spirit so He can help you apply the scriptures to your unique situation. Psalm 119:15, I will meditate on your precepts and fix my eyes on your ways.